Welcome to the Happiness Alchemy podcast for magical women craving business, life, and spiritual growth. Stay with me to expand and empower yourself to live a life you love. Episode 6, Energy Healing for Weight Loss and Self-Love with intuitive holistic healer and teacher Caroline Nixon. Today, I am joined by Caroline Nixon, an absolute magical healer, teacher, and author with an amazing sense of humor. Like, seriously, you need to check her out on Facebook. To balance out the sacred work that she does, Caroline uses her 20 years of experience in all things holistic to help women reclaim their health and lose weight with way more ease, flow, and of course, joy. When I say she uses all things holistic, I'm not even kidding. From her journey in massage therapy, hypnosis, aromatherapy, and expanding into her Reiki master level, reading and healing in the Akashic Records, and more, Caroline is a force of fun, dedication, and light. Welcome, Caroline.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, I like it. It sounds pretty cool whenever somebody kind of tells you how they see you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I just think of it as I love to learn, and I'm really curious by nature, and I sound pretty awesome.
Yeah, right? It's really cool. I love that. All right, so we're going to hop right into it. We're going to get into our interview here, really bringing the light, really educating people. So today I'm noticing that there's a lot of healers and teachers that are covering emotional healing, money healing, business healing, all that. So where did you get the inspiration to use your gifts to help women reclaim their health and lose weight? Where did that come from?
Well, it's interesting because it's interesting to me. I have always known that I want to help people, always. Mm-hmm. And I never really knew how. I just knew I wanted to help people. And I think that's one of the reasons that I've studied and done so many different modalities, because I see each modality as a piece of the puzzle for me. And it was literally just, 4 months ago that I really stepped into my passion, which is helping women. Sorry, dudes, but I like helping women step into their power and into their self-love through the vehicle of their body and getting their body back in balance. And when our body is out of balance, we have things like weight issues and hormonal issues and issues galore. I mean, honestly, if your body is going to have some sort of physical representation at some point in time. We're dense. Our body, it takes a while. It can be in our energy field for a long time. And then once it hits our physical body, we're each different. And so I'm passionate about helping women feel better, get in their bodies. We are so often not in our bodies. We are off in our heads. We're the spiritual community. We're off in the ethers.
Yeah, we're far gone.
We're far gone, and we don't want to be in our bodies because a lot of us don't want to be here.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And we feel like we aren't, like, this isn't my home planet. Why am I here? And I used to feel that way. This is not my home planet.
It takes a while to get acclimatized and to understand, like when you get that first spiritual understanding of I'm greater, and then it's like, oh, well, I like to be up there. So it takes a while to come back down.
Well, and I oftentimes will tell people, whoever will listen to me, you're a soul in a body that you chose to have a human experience on this planet at this time.
Exactly.
And people go, oh, really?
Yeah, nobody's forcing you into this body. But you know what? I really love this because our bodies are so intelligent. So it makes so much sense to me, like intuitively and logically, for you to be working with the body like this. I'm really, really liking that.
Yeah, before I moved into this arena, I was really helping women open up to their intuitive side. Here's the thing. It's all connected. It's all energy. I wrote a post the other day and I was like, yeah, right on. It's like, I work with energy, and it's all energy because it is. And you can't really effectively work in one area of your life and have it not affect all areas of you, because we are a combination of just so much. I mean, you can't just look at money issues.
Exactly.
Or just look at health. Or, I mean, it's so combined. And the more I dive into this, the more it just feels so true for me. And people need this work.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, because we don't just have these little compartments of areas that we can work on one compartment at a time. It flows out and goes everywhere. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how releasing weight and self-love are connected. So what's the connection there?
Well, that's a great question. And, I was thinking before we got on, I was like, well, how is it not connected? Because, I think that everything boils down, if you go deep enough into love, self-love, not loving yourself, not feeling worthy, love is the root of it all.
Yeah, it really is.
It really, really is. And people don't want you, they don't really necessarily want to buy a course on self-love. But boy, they will hop on a course about money. And it's just interesting and fascinating what we will buy and really look at, because sometimes we don't want to look at that. I don't love myself. Yeah. And then I'm in relationships that aren't serving me, or I'm in a job that's not serving me. And I'm stuffing my feelings or numbing myself with food.
Yeah.
And not taking care of myself. And especially as moms, putting everybody before us. There's not really an easy answer. I mean, it's all love. And when we can step into loving ourselves more, then we start putting ourselves first, and not in a selfish way, but in a, I can't help you if I am depleted way.
In a necessary way.
Absolutely. I'm going to take the time, I'm going to make the time to do what I need to do for my body to be the healthiest it can be. And so, I mean, really, you can't give if you're depleted. I mean, Everyone knows that. It's like we know it, but we don't know it.
It makes total sense. And what I find interesting and what I noticed about that, it's almost as though what you're really, really teaching deep down is self-love. That's the core of it, right? So you're looking at and you're getting people's attention with the symptoms that they're expressing, which is, putting on weight or things like that, right, which people tend to not really want to make a change unless something is making them uncomfortable, something's getting their attention. So releasing weight is kind of like the symptom or the effect, and then self-love is really what you're educating them on at a core level, but dealing with the weight issue at the same time as enriching other aspects of their life that it trickles down to.
Absolutely. Because, even when I was just sort of focusing on soul gifts and opening up to intuition, people that were blocked, guess what? Worthiness issues.
Yeah.
And self-love is it all comes down to love. Isn't that simple? I've just saved everyone $1 million. You need to work on yourself.
That's it. Just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead, accept yourself fully, know that you're worthy, and you're done. You're all set.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's really, really interesting. I like that. So talk to me a little bit about your method of source healing for weight loss. So how do you put your spin on things?
Okay. Well, it's uniquely mine because I'm me, and I am, I don't know if you know this, Tracy, but in the spiritual community, I'm a bit of a rebel and misfit. And
I've noticed.
And I really, I'm all about unplugging from collective consciousness, but also spiritual consciousness, because I think that we can just plug into so much stuff that's not really serving our highest and best good. I feel like we are moving into a time where it is just time to just say, I am that I am, and I'm plugged into source, and boom.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I get kind of excited about this. I'm basically blending all of my 20 years of experience in modalities, and I am working with weight loss in a way that is just so unique. I'm looking at the physical, the diet and the exercise, but it's not just about diet and exercise. And there's a huge educational piece about that. Like, people just think, well, if I don't eat carbs, then weight. And yeah, maybe so, but guess what? As soon as you eat a piece of bread, it's gonna, you're gonna,
It's not a solution. Yeah.
it's not a solution. It's not a lifestyle. So I'm looking at the physical. I'm looking at the beliefs. We are essentially a bunch of beliefs.
Just a pile. Yeah.
We're just a hot mess of beliefs. And I help my clients unplug. I pull the beliefs that are limiting. I pull past life stuff. However, we are powerful creators, and I don't want people to, oh, my past life made me fat.
Exactly.
No, pull it. And then downloading with more positive, high vibrational beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
I use source energy healing for a bunch of different modalities.
Yep.
And my latest modality that really made me decide this is what I want to do, it's called energetic allergy healing.
Yes.
Yes. And this is kind of a new modality out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea in just a sentence is the foods you eat, the emotions you feel, the people in your life, everything in your surroundings can cause inflammation in your body. It can cause disharmony, which causes inflammation, which causes pain, which causes dis-ease and health and extra weight and things like that. So this modality literally clears thousands of allergens. Anything that causes inflammation is considered an allergen. Even stuff that doesn't show up on tests. You can be allergic to yourself, to your
so powerful
family. Oh, it is fascinating. So I am bringing that in, and I'm bringing in DNA activation, which could be a totally different podcast.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that'll be another one.
I'll come back. But I'm bringing in DNA activation and restructuring because, at the core of who you are, we want to make sure that that is healed, that is, vibrant, that is activated so that your body can get on board. What else am I bringing?
That's not enough.
No, because every so often I'm like, oh, I should add that.
Because it's something a little tiny bit that works for each person is what I find is that.
Absolutely.
No, and this is why I find this, I just find the entire spiritual community, and especially people like you who are just continuing to learn and grow and expand their awareness, expand their modalities, and expand the ways that they can help people out, because the combination that you have cultivated now is it's ridiculously powerful. It's absolutely amazing. I can see how it can be a huge transformation for people, and just so interesting too that they'll come to you being like, I'm going to work with Caroline and I'm going to be releasing weight and this is what I'm doing. And then come out a few months later and be like, well, my life is transformed in ways that I really didn't expect, because just from an effect of working with you, from all the things you bring to the table. So that's amazing. I love it so much.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, it's the perfect combination for what you're working towards. It's really, really cool. I had no idea that you had all of those things under your belt. So it's
I don't have an ego, and I just don't. And I don't brag about my modalities. I just learn, and I'm curious, and I'm really here to serve.
Exactly. And it seems like you integrate it really, really well, which is what I love, because people can learn modalities all they want, but without kind of integrating it down into the human form and how can I express this out into the world and help other people to work towards their best selves. Without that, you're kind of just going around in a circle of learning modalities over and over again.
Right.
But I love how you integrate. Yeah, exactly. I love how you bring that down to earth. That's amazing.
Yes.
Really good. Yes. So can you give me an example of when you created, and this is something that I ask all my guests, a time when you created happiness alchemy in your life. So what I mean by that is a time when you turned a struggle or a challenge into growth. I feel like you might have a few to choose from here.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I grew up, dysfunction city. I could write a book about that. But I have a sister and I have a brother, and I grew up with my sister, and she was the opposite of me physically, where I was always sort of, not heavy, but I was heavier. My sister was really skinny and people called her scrawny and skinny. And I was always compared to my mom, and my mom always struggled with weight. So I grew up with this, roller coaster of the diets and, not thinking or feeling that I was enough. Even when I weighed like 110 pounds wet, I still had my sister who was, 90 pounds wet. And so I grew up with that. I chose it for whatever reason, to deepen my love for myself, I think.
I would say.
Absolutely. And so, coming into this work more fully, and like I said, I've been in the holistic health field for 20 years, but I'm really embarking on weight loss and health issues right now. And I think part of that is because, it sucks to feel like you're overweight, to be overweight, to carry that extra weight, and all of that negative programming that I grew up with, that I struggled with for a really long time. And I still have my moments.
Oh, of course.
I get in my tool belt and I'm like pulling beliefs like crazy. I walk around my house pulling beliefs on myself.
Well, yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I really, that's where the shift, it's like when I started to do down this road of self-love, I remember, I'll just tell you a quick story. I remember being, 20 something in like a meditation group. And I heard very clearly, your mission here on earth is like love, teaching love. And I was like, what am I going to do with that? I mean, I didn't know. It's like, what do you mean? And I could go on a whole other route with that, but it's really true. Like I feel like I'm here to share my message, to help heal, but also to speak the truth. And sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear, angels love you and all of that, which is true. But sometimes
you gotta be a rebel.
Well, I'm a little bit of a rebel and misfit in that way, because I do believe some people need a swift kick in the rear to get out of their story, because we can be so addicted to our story. And one of the things that I am asking my clients is, where is, your health issue or your weight issue serving you?
Yes.
If it wasn't serving you, you wouldn't have it. So
exactly.
No one wants to look at that.
No, and it usually doesn't make any sense, I would imagine. It's just kind of a subconscious program, right?
It is, definitely. And once you bring it to consciousness, once you start asking those questions, things can get unearthed, and things that maybe we've hidden for, maybe we stuffed them down because we don't want to deal with them.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So you're fearlessly pulling them up. I love that so much. And that's one of my favorite things to do, is really like get in there. What is under that? What is under that? What is under that? Let's get to the bottom of this here, because that's whenever the transformation occurs. I love that. I call that happiness alchemy for sure.
Well, and we all do. We're all emotional creatures. And the other side, I don't know if it's the other side, but another way to look at it as well, and I tell my clients, is I can't lose weight for you.
Yes.
And you can't do it for me. So there has to be, there's an easier way, but you got to get off your couch.
Yeah.
And you have to make new and different changes. I talk a lot about the comfort zone and, your mind, your ego that just wants to keep you safe. And I mean, there's so many components. I could talk and talk and talk about how we can talk ourselves out of changing, even though we're miserable.
Oh, of course. And it's the craziest thing to see, like whenever you're kind of step outside of what's going on in your life and look at it from a different perspective and see this wheel that you're on of just kind of perpetually doing the same pattern over and over again. That's whenever, and I think you help to really wake that up in people. And once they're kind of woken up a little bit and they say, you know what, I'm ready to get off this wheel, that's when they're going to go ahead and contact you, because man, it's once you realize you're on the wheel, it's pretty uncomfortable to stay on there.
It is, but it also, people that work with me, they're excited for the first couple of weeks, and then guess what? And their resistance goes like, their mind, I call it the monkey mind, goes into crazy, hissy fits, and they start, that's where it's important, especially with a weight issue, I think, because you have to eat. It's not, you can stop eating.
Exactly.
And I can't be with my clients 24/7. That would be weird. So they have to have tools in place to help when their mind just wants them to eat that, whatever, or, it's crazy. Our mind just wants to, even though we're miserable, our mind wants to keep us safe, and we're safe in our comfort zone. So a lot of it is really just stepping out, taking a new action. There's so many components. Yeah. It's not easy. It's not a quick fix.
No, and that means it's going to be a sustainable fix, right? Because you're going deep enough. I really like that. And also how you're not just putting your own super powerful energy healing modalities on, you're also integrating ways for them to be self-healing and to be really shifting their programs and patterns.
Right.
And like you said, giving them tools. Very, very powerful.
Yeah, I see everyone as a powerful creator. And I think that's one of the reasons I get so triggered and annoyed when people come into my Facebook group and they don't even introduce themselves and they're like, can someone help me? I need help.
Yes.
For free, of course. I don't have any money, but I need you to tell me and fix me. And I get I get a little triggered, and I don't allow it in my group. So, but it's something that I've learned that I just have to be the leader and be like, that is totally disempowering.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, get out of your victim energy, come on back in here after you had a quick fix, and then we'll talk from an empowered place. Yeah. I love that a lot.
And I find that people that invest in themselves are more likely to see it, to really want that change.
Yeah.
And when I say invest, I don't mean, $1 million. I mean, it might just be one session, but at least it's a start.
It's a start. And then and I find it's an investment of time too, and dedication. Like if you're investing with somebody, like you said, even if it's just one session, get the most out of that session and then implement the things that you've learned through it. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So if somebody wanted to release weight and increase their self-love, how can they work with you and where can they find you?
Awesome. Well, okay. I have a website. It's carolinenixon.net. And so that's a great place. I'm on Facebook. You can message me. My business is Manifesting Your Magic.
I love that.
We can get a link maybe.
There'll be links for all this stuff in the show notes too, for sure.
Yeah, and I do have a Facebook group as well, so we'll get you that link. That's a lot of fun. The timing of this is awesome. I have a new 12-week program. It's called Losing Weight and Feeling Great. And I'll just really quickly, that title came to me because I'm big on affirmations, but I'm also big on singing. And I'm also big on dancing around my house. And one of the things that I have been doing in the past is to help me release weight is I go around my house and I'm like, I'm losing weight and feeling great. I'm losing weight and feeling great. And that just stuck with me. And so when I came back to run this program, to create this program, I was like, this is perfect because it is about feeling good and stepping into, your health and your weight loss goals. So, but it started yesterday. It's a 12-week program. It's a group program, and it's a beta program, which means it is 12 weeks of you receiving everything that you can handle and then some, and it's at a very discounted rate.
Oh my goodness.
Still enrolling people because I feel like they can even start in week 2.
Yeah.
Or even 3 and catch up. It's 12 weeks. It's 3 months. It's a longer program because it is a process, and every week is going to add and build and unearth things. And we're literally like going at it from the inside out.
Oh my goodness. I love that.
We can put the link in that. Yeah, it's great. I'm so excited. But I also offer one-on-one sessions and longer one-on-one programming as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, I encourage you all to definitely reach out. Facebook group is my favorite place to connect with you because you're hilarious, and I always get a kick out of the things that you share, and also, learn, and of course, and I'm spiritually nourished from it. But I like laughing a lot too, so
Yeah,
I
I
really
tend to
appreciate
trigger
that.
people.
Yeah, it's great. It's really fabulous. Yeah. And so it makes sense to me for if somebody wanted to go on this kind of journey that can be really emotional because you are going into deep aspects of yourself. You want to do it with somebody that is not going to be super, super, super serious, somebody that can kind of take you up into that laughter area too, just because there's going through this it's difficult enough working through your own stuff. You might as well have somebody that's going to be there to uplift you as well. So yeah.
Oh, for sure. It's funny. When I came on the Facebook scene a few years ago, before I had my own group, laughter and bringing light and laughter was kind of seen as, oh, you're naive, or, oh, like that's how I felt. Like
You're not serious or something. Yeah.
And laughter's high vibe, people. Like, that seriousness, that is not for me. No. I mean, I can be serious, and I am serious when I need to be.
When it's called
doing
for.
my healing work, I am like on. But then I'll bust out laughing because it is healing.
And that's all fine. Sometimes some of the energy that comes through during healings, it like tickles me, and there's nothing I can do but bust out laughing. So thank God my clients are understanding, and sometimes I'll warn them in advance, I don't know how this is going to happen, but
I do. I warn my clients. I say I yawn a lot and I will laugh. And I oftentimes say, if you don't have a sense of humor, don't even bother.
No, don't even bother. That is, I agree. Amazing. All right. So all of these links are going to be in the show notes. And I thank you so much, Caroline, for joining me today. This has been amazing. And I'm hopeful that this is going to reach the exact right people that will need to connect with you.
Oh, that is always my intention. So yes, absolutely. This has been awesome. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thanks for listening to the Happiness Alchemy podcast. If you know someone who would resonate with this message, please share this episode with them. Sending so much gratitude. Have an amazing day.